Welcome to TimeOut, an exciting new educational video series brought to you by First Case. In this series, we're bringing you easy-to-access education with no fees and no tests. Break free from boring staff meetings and dive into educational content that you can put into practice immediately. So let's get started with today's episode of TimeOut.
Thanks for joining me on today's episode of TimeOut. We've been covering a lot of technical topics lately, so we're going to take a break from that and discuss a fundamental skill necessary for success regardless of your role in the OR: communication. We all know how it feels to be in the dark, to not get told important information about our patient or the case we're setting up for. And honestly, you might remember this like it was yesterday, because it was. It seems we constantly struggle to get all of the information that we need to do our jobs well. Lack of communication slows us down, makes us angry, and can ultimately lead to surgical errors. But here's the thing. At the very core of patient safety is effective communication. When cases are posted correctly, when prep cards are kept up to date, when every detail in the pre-op checklist is addressed, when the entire team comes to a complete stop to perform a proper timeout prior to the cut, and when a handoff of patient care occurs with sufficient time to give information and ask questions, all of these different tasks actually give us an opportunity to communicate. And while it may seem like I'm talking about an operating room utopia, when all of the pieces come together, when everyone knows what's going on, and when everyone has an opportunity to have their concerns addressed, the patient benefits through increased efficiency and a decreased risk of error. Effective communication is vital in the operating room. Multiple studies have identified lack of communication as the root cause of an error. All of us in the OR want our patients to have a safe surgical experience, and we can increase that chance with proper communication. When we feel empowered to voice our concerns, when we are willing to actively listen to the concerns of others, when we respect everyone on the surgical team as a professional with a voice that should be heard, and when we follow established protocols for our safety checklists and the timeout and the handoff of care, we're ensuring patient safety by prioritizing communication. Now, no one person can achieve perfect communication by themselves, but that doesn't free any of us from the responsibility of effectively communicating. We all have to do our part to recognize the many different opportunities that we have to communicate every single day, and we need to take advantage of them. Don't tune out during the timeout. Pay attention. Confirm the accuracy of the items on your checklist before you check them all off out of habit. Instead of running out the door as soon as your relief shows up, take the time to give a thorough report. Don't be afraid to ask questions or voice your concerns. Your patients and your team members will be better off for it. Okay, that's all the time we have for today. Stay tuned for the next episodes because we're going to address the pre-op checklist, surgical counts, and the timeout. I'm your host, Melanie Perry. Thanks for watching.
That's going to do it for this episode of TimeOut. As a reminder, you can help support us with a like, a share, or by subscribing to this channel. You can also subscribe to the First Case podcast on your favorite podcast application. I would appreciate a rating and a review because your feedback is important to this show. On behalf of everyone at First Case, thank you for watching this episode of TimeOut.